tell my students this, and I tell my juniors this too. I was like, your name is going to be put on this. So I would say, use your resources as much as you can, but make sure you're validating this as well. I need you to be the to validate the content of this, you know, AI output. So I can teach you what a thematic analysis is, what you're looking for. I can tell you what it should look like. But if you're just going to plug something in, some prompt, and then hand it off, that's not the problem solving, right? There, and that's not requiring anybody to replace any jobs, because you still have to know what you're looking for. And I was thinking about that too, as far as book reports. Something book. When we're in school and read a book, right? All that kind of stuff. And this is back when we used card catalogs, which we don't really do that anymore. But I was thinking about educators, and it was always, well, I knew that the I was judging the quality of the education by validating the output, and for them the output was the book report. Well, maybe that's just too far right now. Maybe we need to take this back in a step, say, okay, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an outline. We need to validate that outline. Use AI, use your research, right? Put together an outline. Now, as a student, look at this outline. Does this make sense to you? What works? What doesn't work? What do you need to change in your prompt to get something that's more linear, or something maybe that is more factual, or we're putting a nuance in this? We're doing a critical analysis in this book, versus, political issues in current America or something like that. Does this outline make sense? If that works, let's take it to the next step. And then we're going to validate step by step. And that way we can judge that, this output is saying, okay, the education is there, that they're learning something. And I think that the same thing happens with, working in the field, where, yeah, we might use it for something like, affinity mapping or things like that. But unless you know what you should be outputting, what the value is, it doesn't have, it might not have any value, right? Like you have to know, as a problem solver, as a professional, you have to know what you're going to hand off. Like, what is the value of these reports? Otherwise it's just, busy work and you're not learning anything. So, um, yeah, I think that that's the big thing with AI, and people are really scared, but we always have to be moving forward, right? Like, um, with calculators, when we were growing up, when I was growing up, it was always like, oh, you're not going to have a calculator on you forever, but now you do. And education has changed in that fact, right? So, and even stuff like memorizing formulas, where when I was in, high school, we would have to memorize everything. And they're like, well, now we're going to teach you how to find these things. And I think with AI, as it's constantly, and disclaimer, we should say, like, as of today, AI cannot do whatever, but it's growing so fast that it could very well be in a week they're like, oh, by the way, now it fully recognizes, facial features and can have a full on human interaction with you. It does go
Yeah.
very, very fast.
And it's funny that you say that, because I'm going to give a quick analogy. So at Microsoft, we are AI. Okay, we are coining, or let me not say that. Scratch. Microsoft does everything with AI though. Our entire platform and ecosystem has what we call Copilot, which is an AI large language model that allows you to work quicker. You guys have seen the commercials and things like that. So you can see AI in everything. You can see it in Canva. I use that for logos, right? Side businesses, things like that. You can pretty much see it being incorporated everywhere in banks now. Like, how can I help you? Help me find the, statement of this hotel that charged me too much money, right? It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. So you can definitely see how AI is not going away. Hopefully we'll slow down so we could be smarter as a collective, like as a nation. Um, but I fingers crossed. Let's just keep the good energy out there. I hope that that'll happen. But if it doesn't, there are some initiatives that we can do as individuals or as organizations. So, for example, um, AI can be capitalized on in a sense. So, I'll give you an example. How great would it be, Andrew, for you to be able to tell your students, yes, I want you to use ChatGPT. However, I want the sources to be reputable. I want them to be correct references and things like that. So instead of us relying on these big, huge companies, because they're going to do what they have to do, they got the money for it. What if, I'll use Chicago, Harold Washington Library, one of the largest libraries. What if they created their own chat GPT? Wouldn't you trust that so much more. Like there's just things that we can do in different ways that we now must think that will transform our jobs. So will jobs go away?